That was my first sales meeting ever, going into that office at Hudson's Bay, which is a huge retailer. I never had a sales meeting before, and what got them was our video on Indiegogo. So when I moved back to Toronto in July of last year, and I was moving forward with the business full steam and had already started the product development process, I was always thinking about how are we gonna launch this? I like to test ideas, you could say. And so to me, when I heard about Indiegogo, I thought it was the ultimate test. People had said that they liked the product, they liked the idea, but would they actually pay for it? Would they say, you know, here is my money in exchange for this idea that you're making? I thought that that was a great opportunity. When else do you get to test an idea before you actually go to market with it? And from the get-go, this has been such a collaborative process. It's an idea that I came up with, but I've been interviewing hundreds of women as we go. They've always had their feedback. This is really a product that was designed for women. And so for us, Indiegogo was like an amazing platform to actually get to talk to hundreds of women, get hundreds of new customers, and get their feedback on the product. What did they like? What didn't they like? What did they want to see differently? And we were able to incorporate that before we actually physically went and started our first production run. We had an interesting process. So we started with one video, and we actually changed our video 2 weeks in after sort of getting early customer feedback. So we completely revised some of the messaging around our product. The way that we talk about Knix Wear now and the company that it is now is all based on Indiegogo feedback. We added new styles, we added new sizes. So we now do plus sizes. We go to double XL. That was purely based on feedback from Indiegogo. The style that customers wanted to see is actually our #1 selling product, bar none. And without Indiegogo, we never would have made that. And then, I mean, for us, it put us on the map. I mean, it's a very public way to launch your company. Everyone can see your progress. They can see how many units you're selling. You can't hide behind anything. But it's also a really great way to gain exposure for your product. So without Indiegogo, we wouldn't have the Bay, which is our first major retailer in Canada. We wouldn't have had these 500 customers right out of the gate. And we wouldn't have had the awareness that we have. We managed through Indiegogo to convince Canada's largest department store to actually pre-buy our product through the platform. And if you can imagine, we're in the middle of this campaign, we're about 30 days in, the whole team's tired, we've been up all night, every single night, trying to get press coverage, more exposure, more orders, you name it, and a light goes off. It's like, what if we were to try and get a big order? So instead of selling 1 unit or 2 units, what if we tried to sell 36 units? And that's what it started with. And then 36 very quickly turned into 100 units, and 100 turned into, well, you know, the rest is kind of history. Indiegogo is this amazing platform where you have the opportunity to not just showcase your product, but to tell your story, to tell the story behind the product, to show them who you are as a company. And that really resonated with them. The buyers there don't usually get to see that, and I think that without Indiegogo, that never would have happened.